It's time for Mental Health Monday, brought to you by LSF Health Systems. And November 23rd is International Survivors of Suicide Loss Day. And to talk about survivor guilt and mental health, we want to welcome back CEO of LSF Health Systems, Dr. Christine Caulfield. Doctor, it's so good to see you as always.
Likewise.
This is fantastic to get to talk to you. Like I say every time, I always learn so much with this segment. All right, so what is survivor's guilt and how does it manifest in those who have lost a loved one to suicide?
Yes, so survivor guilt is a feeling that why am I surviving when my loved one didn't? How can I wrap my head around the event? And how can I move past it?
Right.
There is something probably I should have been able to catch, I should have noticed.
Right.
It's my fault. I mean, all these different types of feelings people typically have when they lose a loved one to suicide.
That's got to be, the turmoil has got to be unreal. So why is it so hard for survivors to move past feelings of self-blame? And how does unresolved guilt contribute to anxiety and depression?
Well, it certainly does contribute to anxiety and depression because a person feels somehow responsible for their loved one's choice to take their own life.
Right.
Again, many people report that, you know, I should have done more. I should have noticed signs. Why didn't I? Why did this happen? How could I have prevented it? And so it's almost like assuming the responsibility for their loved one's action.
That sounds like that could be very dangerous, right?
Yes.
To one's own personal mental health. You know, so what are some practical strategies survivors can use to begin the process of self-forgiveness and emotional healing?
Well, one thing that we want to remind our survivors is let's move from self-blame to self-forgiveness, forgiving self for any perceived things that you feel contributed erroneously most of the time,
Right.
I can assure you,
Yeah.
to the person that chose to take their own life. So time for healing of those wounds. It's also really important to connect with a suicide survivor support group.
Absolutely.
Because when you talk about these very normal feelings that typically arise after someone takes their own life, it's really important to have that support of others that have gone through the same very tragic situation.
Absolutely. If you've never gone through it, I imagine it's pretty hard to speak to somebody about it, right? And
Yes.
so now first responders often deal with loss in their line of work, as many of their fellow colleagues unfortunately commit suicide. So how can they navigate survivor's guilt when it arises?
Yes, so you're absolutely right. With our first responders, actually, the majority lose their life to suicide more than to the line of duty activities. So that's a sobering statistic. And they not only deal with survivor guilt when their colleague commits suicide, but also when they are faced with a traumatic event, which they are pretty much every day.
Right.
And a lot of times that involves someone's death or traumatic incident. And oftentimes they feel, how did I survive that when the victim did not? And was there something I could have done to prevent this loss? And so they almost have a compounded survivor guilt, if you know, can think about that. And it's very difficult for our first survivors.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
To survive those things.
That is very, very heavy. Okay, I've just got enough time for a website. Where can I send people for more information?
stayfitforduty.org for our first responders. Certainly 988 if they are having any feelings of wanting to end their lives. And also our lsfsystems.org website has resources as well.
Excellent. Dr. Christine Caulfield, thank you so very much. It's always a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Guys, stick around. We'll be right back.